Agree or disagree? Mental health is a significant issue among farmers.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid it is. Do farmers use more chemicals than necessary when growing food?
I think when you look at the back of bottles and then you're like, wait a minute, I thought I was eating one food item. This one food item has 30 different chemicals in it for some reason, I don't know.
For us, in our production of the crops, the label on a chemical jug, a pesticide of any kind, is the Bible, and you follow it. We don't use any more than we have to because we don't want to waste the money. And then if you do over-apply something, there's a chance of hurting the crop too. So we are very, very particular and use as little as we need to fix whatever the issue might be.
Do you feel like farmers are misunderstood?
Probably more now than in the past. Back then, it was mostly farm families, and it was very, very community-oriented.
Okay.
And I think as time has went on, people get the wrong message. There's a lot of misconceptions out there, and most of them are not true.
I remember growing up when I was a kid, it was like an aspirational thing to be. And then that narrative has kind of changed over time.
Part of that, I think, is because of technology, some of the press, and some of the negativity of different groups. They've maybe talked louder than we have as a group.
So being the strong, silent type doesn't necessarily help.
That's right, because there's some very small groups that are very loud, and they get their message out, and sometimes we don't. How often do you think about where your food comes from?
When I'm hungry, I don't think about it at all. I just want to eat. But when you have moments to yourself, you're just like, I wonder how the hot dog is made. Then you find out how the hot dog is made. Yeah, then you realize, maybe there's some things I don't need to know. But I think it's very important to know in general where your food comes from. But the average person, they just want to eat.
I would agree. You're an exception because most people just say it comes from the grocery store.
Yeah.
And they don't realize how far down that chain goes. Is farming worse for the environment today than it was 10 years ago?
It's so many aspects of the environment that feels like it's getting worse. So is farming the cause of that? I don't know.
Well, we're continually learning why certain things help us grow a healthier crop. Back then, the farmers would grow clover and plow it down, and the following crop would be better. They didn't know the science behind it, but they knew it worked. Yeah. Well, now we know what those roots are doing. The roots go down, aerate the soil. There's more earthworms. There's more biological activity. Back then, they didn't know, except they just knew it was better. So we do everything we can do to keep the environment healthy.
I feel like being a farmer is basically being like a scientist in many ways.
A lot of it is. When we plant our seeds, our planters shut off with a satellite so we don't have overlap to where we're wasting seed and wasting money. Technology is getting more and more complicated all the time. Like we have 2 combines, and when we're harvesting, both of those know where each other are.
Quick walkthrough. What's a combine?
That's what we use to harvest our crops.
Okay. Is that the big thing that reaches over all the crops?
It would cut them off, and it brings it in, and it separates the stems or the stalks from the grain.
Yeah, I know that. I knew that now. Agree or disagree? Mental health is a significant issue among farmers.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid it is. It goes back to that everyday stress. Makes it difficult at home sometimes. 3 or 4 years ago, we calved a bunch of heifers. We had a virus that went through them, and we ended up losing, I think it was 50 or 51 of the baby calves.
Oh, wow.
My son, that's actually whose they were, it was just about all he could do. He's a young, strong man, but he said, I didn't know how much more I could take. If he would have had a severe stress that he couldn't handle, I'd hate to think what could have happened, you understand? You don't know what's going through somebody's mind. If we see something going on, we need to try to visit with that person and try to get them some help.
That's beautiful. Robert, thank you.
We got through a bunch.
We got through a bunch of stuff. I really appreciate you.
Zach, it's nice to meet you.